You are back on KindaSound, watching, listening in glorious Technicolor and stereo. How are you doing out there, KindaSounders? I am Jules Bryant, and really pleased to say, joined today by my beautiful co-host, Juliette Bryant. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yep, I'm very good indeed. Yeah, looking forward to chatting to you today, Juliette. And we're going to be talking about, we're doing a bit of a series at the moment on KindaSound about teaching people.
Mm-hmm.
So teaching people how to sing, teaching people to be healers, and in your case, teaching people professional qualifications in cacao, the way of cacao, and also teaching people professional qualification in working with medicinal mushrooms. Where do you want to start?
Well, really, for a while now, what's been happening is I've been having this deep call to teach Earth Wisdom, and I have been teaching Earth Wisdom. And this year I formed the School of Earth Wisdom, which was a really big step for me to honour the journey that I've gone on and to honour the path that I feel I'm really embodying in my life. And as part of the School of Earth Wisdom, I've been running a year-long practitioner's course. I spent a lot of time getting the courses written and also certified and accredited, and that was quite a big process and a wonderful process because it gives such validation to the work I'm doing, having a professional body saying yes, this is great and you can certify people. So the first thing that I certified and accredited was training Earth Wisdom practitioners. Now, this is so exciting for me because on the first session with the Earth Wisdom practitioners, I said to them, you can take this anywhere you want. Most things we learn, you are learning how to be a prescribed thing. You're almost like copying someone else's way of being. But with the Earth Wisdom mentorship, the Earth Wisdom practitioners, they can take this knowledge and shape it into whatever their calling is. So they are learning how to do Earth Wisdom healing, channeling the healing energy of the plants, the trees, the mushrooms to people. They're learning how to hold ceremony. They're learning how to take people on forest walks and connect them into their environment. They're learning how to hold tea ceremonies. So there's so many different facets. And seeing that unfolding for each person as they deepen their understanding of what Earth Wisdom is so beautiful. So that's one aspect of it. Then there's the cacao training, which we are just about to finish the first cohort of certified cacao practitioners. It's an 8-week online training. And wow, it's just been phenomenal. The response, the activation people are having, the deep realizations and the deep healing. Because when we learn to become practitioners, one of the important things to remember is we're learning really about ourselves. Because in that understanding of who we are, we understand better how to serve others.
So tell us about the cacao, the format of it, because you've got, is it 2 weeks left?
2 weeks left.
2 weeks left
Yep.
in this first round.
Yep.
And then you start another course,
Yep.
an 8-week course. That's what. Tell us a little bit about the dates for that.
Yeah, so that's in September. So that's going to be on a Monday. It starts on the 14th of September, and that's a Monday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. UK time for that second intake of the cacao training. So it's all run via a Telegram group. And Telegram's amazing because you can have all the different subsections. So meditations, session replays, workbooks, general chat, music, there's a section for everything. So it's very easy to click in and go, oh, I want to listen to that meditation that we did in week 3. And it's all there. All the sessions are done via Zoom. They're live and recorded so that you can watch them again. You can chat in there, ask questions. And this group, the community that has been created with them is just phenomenal. So each week we meet on Zoom for an hour approximately session where we talk about different aspects of cacao. We've looked at shadow work, movement, music, connecting with the spirit of cacao, the kind of history, the ethics around it. We've looked at the nutritional factors. So we've covered all that. We're looking at how to actually physically run sessions, or the logistics around that. Yeah, it's been super magical, and I can't wait to start the next one in September and journey with a whole new group of people.
So let's just back up a little bit there for people who might not necessarily understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So cacao is a name that we give to chocolate,
Yes.
isn't it? And why do we call it cacao and not chocolate?
Well, the name cacao comes from Theobroma cacao, which is the tree, and cacao is it in its raw form. So before it's been roasted and processed, it's cacao. When it becomes roasted, it's then cocoa. So most people know of chocolate as cocoa, but cacao is that raw form. And what we're teaching on the practitioner's course is how to hold and work with the energy and the medicine of cacao. Cacao is a plant medicine. It has so many incredible effects on the body and on the mind and on the spirit, and it's been used for centuries in this ceremonial way. So what we're doing is we're remembering that ancient knowledge, but we're also revisiting the ancient knowledge for today's lifestyles as well. So you're learning how to sit and hold the plant medicine of cacao chocolate.
There we go. So tell us about your own experiences of when you've done this, you know, with a group of people. Obviously it's very convenient that you're doing the online training because you've got people joining you from other parts of the world, which would just be completely impractical if they had to fly in every week. So there's a value in that. But when you're holding a circle, a cacao ceremony, if you like, so just talk about a little bit about about what happens, and about your experiences when you've done them, not just yourself, but when you've been to other people's cacao circles. What should people expect?
So for me, when I sit with Mama Cacao, it's very much a deep holding. Cacao brings us into that space of the heart, into the space of love, and it reminds us of the love that we are. So when I hold cacao ceremonies, which I do fairly frequently on different retreats I run and at other people's events, it's about honouring the directions, it's about honouring the earth, honouring the medicine that comes from the earth, all the medicine that comes from the earth. It's about connecting into our highest good, our highest version of ourselves, and really bringing in and breathing into the love that we are and expanding out from that space. Now, when we do cacao ceremonies, they can be done in many different ways. I do them as part of other people's ecstatic dance things. So cacao can be used to help us open up not only our heart, but our whole being to movement or to music, beautiful before singing or before you lay down and then go on a deep journey. So what the cacao is doing is it's creating a sense of holding, it's creating a sense of opening, and it's creating a beautiful sense of love, a reminder of that love that we are. So quite often people will feel moved, they will feel softened, and sometimes they'll experience beautiful states of bliss. Sometimes they'll have tears and emotions coming up, expressing things that are blocking them from really being that love that they are. So lots of different ways that it can be experienced, played with, worked with, and communed with.
So tell us about your own experiences when you've maybe you've been a participant rather than you leading something. How have you felt, and what has it brought up within you? You know, how the healing, what healing has it brought for you?
So what I find within my own being is that it has this deep sense of nourishment. I lost my mum when I was 21. And so there's been part of my dad when I was 30. There's been part of me that has felt that lack, that loss of holding. No one holds you, well, some people's parents don't, but that parental kind of all-encompassing unconditional love. And when I work with cacao, that's what it brings into me, that feeling of like, oh, it's okay. You're not alone. You are held and you are safe. And from that space, I personally have experienced great joy. You know, when I'm singing, it can bring me into quite ecstatic states, or dancing, or laying in meditation. It allows me to go deeper into myself and deeper into the earth. I've been doing something called Cacao Corner recently, the last few weeks on social media. And it's a really beautiful thing where I sit with a cacao and I talk about the different types of cacao I'm having, so what I'm adding to it, because also for me, the cacao is a carrier of other superfoods. It's like a driver of that medicine of the cacao and potentially vanilla, medicinal mushrooms, saffron, whatever it may be. And I just talk about the experience, the wisdom that comes through the cacao through me. And I've been sharing that, and I've had so many messages from people saying, oh my God, I love Cacao Corner. It's really just brilliant, the knowledge and the wisdom and the feeling that's coming through that. So for me, it helps me really connect deeper to the earth and to myself. And it's that reminder of being held.
Beautiful. So if you're listening to this and you think, yeah, I like the sound of that. And also, Juliette, what I've noticed certainly in the last few years, certainly in the last 2 years, 18 months, a lot of people now are holding these cacao circles and these cacao ceremonies. And, you know, some people, they've got a deep connection to it. And some people, God bless them, they're probably just thinking this is a commercial opportunity to be able to jump on a bit of a bandwagon with something. And I think it's a good thing for people to have a formal qualification to study with a degree of depth, because one of the most important things, of course, is people's safety.
Totally.
Is the safety of people that might be coming into a circle and experiencing things and things being brought up, emotions being brought up, things being stirred, and having a responsibility to people's health. I mean, you know, you drink too many cacao. I remember the story of David Wolfe. He because the thing about the bean, it's, you know, you've got these beans and you break the beans open, or, you know, into the nibs or into the powder or whatever. And he had this story and he goes, I made a smoothie and I put in 1 cacao bean. And then I put in 10 cacao beans. And then I put in 50 cacao beans. So it is a stimulant, isn't it, the cacao?
Yeah.
And if you have a big cup of the they're called the ceremonial grade. Now just talk to people a little bit about the dosage of it, because it's widely available now, isn't it? This ceremonial cacao. We have friends who have their own brands. We're not going to mention anyone here because we don't want to upset anyone that we don't mention. But many of our friends actually do have these cacao businesses now, don't they? And they import some of them very famous people, even been on the telly. But, you know, it's getting out there. But so how much should people take if they do say they buy it from an online store?
Yeah, so it's very varied on dosage, and this is one of the things that we cover in the course. Dosage can be anywhere from 5 grams to 60 grams. Now, I wouldn't recommend most people take 60 grams. That's very, very high.
Unless you're a very large person and you're used to it.
But you're used to it. But also, if you're going for a very, very deep journey, 60 grams, you know, some of the people have been experimenting, and it's a lot for the system. So you wouldn't do that regularly. But one of the things that you mentioned, I just want to touch on first, is the fact that it is so important that people know how to hold space. And this is probably the core of my work, is teaching people how to safely hold others and hold themselves as well, because that's really important. How to create a sacred space and a clean space so people feel safe to drop into their feelings.
Yes.
Because people will walk into a space and on a subconscious level they'll go, no, I can't open up here because it's not energetically safe for me to. Or they won't have that deeper consciousness, and they will, and you know, there's stuff all around, so we have to be very careful. And this is part of why I created this, because I was seeing other things happening in the world of cacao that didn't make me feel comfortable. And so if you see something that you don't like, well, do something about it. Like, don't talk about it. Don't just be negative. Go, okay, well, I can be that change. I can bring in a deep sense of holding. And I've been holding spaces for people, holding circles for 20 plus years. So I've been doing this for a while, and have seen lots of things come up. So I have that experience to be able to share with people, which is so important. On the dosage front of the cacao, as I said, you can have this wide spectrum of dosages. Most people would say a ceremonial dose is between 30 and 42 grams of cacao. Now, for some people, there are contraindications. If you're breastfeeding, you're pregnant, you're on heart medications, you're on SSRIs, you would want a lower dose, which can still give you a magical feeling and connect you into your heart. And ultimately, we can also just work with the spirit of cacao, and this is super powerful too. And people often think, I have to have large doses, a large dose of whatever to experience, and we don't. When I run a beautiful cacao retreat, the Way of Cacao, and it's happening again in February in Glastonbury.
February 2027, people. Yep. Couldn't you even believe that?
Last year's was amazingly successful, really beautiful. And so within that, we had a cacao pod that was a fresh one, and people sat with that, and the experiences they got from just holding the cacao were phenomenal. So, this is really important, and this is, I think, the essence of all of my work with the School of Earth Wisdom, is connecting people deeper into the energetics of the plants, the trees and the mushrooms, as well as the physical, because ultimately we are physical, mental, emotional and spiritual beings. And when we can remember that and we can connect with the whole world in that way, this is where the medicine truly happens.
Absolutely beautiful, Juliette. So JulietteBryant.com, if you just click on the tab there, I think the events tab, and you scroll down and you'll find the information about this incredible. So if you like the sound of that, do have a look. Just finally, Juliette, I suppose people can just search the internet, but is there a book that you'd recommend if someone's listening and they think, I want to learn more about cacao? What book would you suggest?
Well, the book that got me into it years and years ago was David Wolfe and Shazzy's book, Naked Chocolate. And that was like my first real experience of cacao. So thank you, David Wolfe, and thank you, Shazzy. That book changed my life, really changed my life, and changed the course of my life in so many ways. So I'm just super grateful to both of those people for that. So check out that book. I've done lots of videos on cacao on my YouTube, Juliette's Kitchen, my Instagram, official Juliette Bryant, Facebook, Juliette Bryant. You can see loads of posts that I do regularly about the medicine of cacao. But also as part of the School of Earth Wisdom.
So that's absolutely brilliant. Well, I tell you what, as part of the School of Earth Wisdom, you're going to have to tune in for part 2. Let's have a cacao, Juliette, and let's toast to you out there, people. So thank you very much. So it is the practitioner training, ladies and gentlemen. You can become a certified leader of cacao ceremonies and working with cacao with this beautiful lady here. So check out JulietteBryant.com. But keep it KindaSound for our wonderful episodes, and we are going to see you soon.
Take care.